Recording. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to hop on the call today. I'm really excited about what we're going to cover. I'm going to go ahead and mute you guys. And then if you want to talk, feel free just to go ahead and unmute yourself, just so we can get a good recording here. All right. So I'm really excited about today because as I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about this week, I knew that I wanted to talk about overcoming objections and getting past some of the things that are holding us back in our business. But I didn't know that it was going to be the same day that Bridget would hit diamond. And so this morning I asked her if she would share some of the things that she's been working on to really keep that momentum up in her own business. And I just think you guys are going to really, really be able to soak up a lot of nuggets from Bridget. But before we get to that, I wanted to just talk about obstacles. I think no matter where you're at in your business, no matter how long ago you joined, you will probably already had an obstacle. Whether that's big or small, that's just part of being an entrepreneur, is that there are going to be ups and downs, and you just have to be ready to go for the ride. But with that said, in my opinion, when Beachbody really clicked for me, when I realized that I was going to make something of this, I remember watching a video from one of the top Canadian coaches, and he said that the difference between people who succeed in this business and the ones who don't are the ones who have the right mindset and are the ones who believe in themselves. Because if we don't believe that we can get there, we're never going to get there. So today I wanted to talk about some of the limiting beliefs that we are telling ourselves in our heads as far as why we can't keep going, or why we can't reach diamond or emerald or success club, whatever it is. And so I'm just going to share a couple examples of the things that I've told myself over the last year and a half as to why I don't think I can coach, or I don't think I'm going to be successful. First of all, time. I remember when I started, I was super busy. At that time, I was a stay-at-home mom 100% of the time, which to you working moms, I know you're probably like, you have no idea like what it's like to work outside the home. It's all busy in its own way. So just remember that first. We're all coming with different perspective. But for me, being at home full-time, I felt like, when the heck am I going to get all these emails answered? When am I going to have time to do any of that? Because I wasn't making any money. I didn't have a nanny at the time. I didn't have anything except this desire in my heart to grow this. And so I had the process that I've learned to do when I have an objection come up in my mind. And this is what I want to encourage you guys to do too, is to ask yourself, is it really true? So whatever it is that's going on in your mind right now that's holding you back, and you have to be completely honest with yourself, that was one of them. But for me, I had others, like, I don't think I am smart enough, or I don't think I'm organized enough. Because I'll be just honest, I'm not a super organized type A person. I'm more of a creative. And so I knew that was going to be the first thing I hired out, was like someone to manage my email, because that was not my strength. But I, for a while, held back myself because I thought, gosh, I'm not organized enough, or I'm not on top of things enough. Whatever it was, those things, you guys, that we're telling ourselves in our mind, if we're not careful, they will start to run our life, and they will start to become a disease. And so what I want to ask you guys today, I'm going to ask if there's anyone brave enough to share an obstacle or a limiting belief that's in your head right now, and maybe you're kind of embarrassed of it, because I know it can be like really embarrassing to admit that you might be struggling with some kind of insecurity. But I would love for someone to share and then for us to help that person walk through that limiting belief or that obstacle. Does anyone care to share something that's on your mind? Someone be brave, or should I? Erin. Okay, Erin says she will.
Hopefully Ainsley stays quiet for like 30 seconds. I struggle with trying to grow my following on my like page and Instagram, and just thinking, and even my blog, like, but like, why does anybody care what I have to say about it? You know, like, what makes me special enough to grow it to where people care about anything that I have to say about any of it? Does that make sense?
Yes. No, that's great. And so, like, that's a perfect example. I think we've all been there. And a lot of us probably are still there right now. I think that's just a great one, because that's exactly where we're all at. And so I think in that moment you have to ask yourself, like almost put a default or like a stop sign in your brain when a thought like that pops up, to say, okay, wait a minute, is that 100% true? And so if you ask yourself right now, look at what you have going on in your life, look at what you have going on your social media channels. Even though you might not have a ton of followers, you're not where you want to be. Look at what's going on. So Erin, like, tell me, when you post something, what happens? Like, do you get any likes? Do you get any comments? What typically happens for you?
Yeah, I would say I get a lot of likes. I'm trying to work on engagement, ending with a call to action and things like that, because I'm not getting tons of comments, or if I am, it's from you awesome ladies, but no offense, I'm looking for other people that would be potential customers or coaches. So yeah, I guess that's my biggest obstacle right now, is just looking for more post engagement from potential customers.
Right. But I think the point here is that you already have some, right? So
yeah.
You're getting likes, you're getting comments. And so it's almost like you have to train your brain to go, well, these people care. Like, hey, they might all be coaches sometimes, like all the comments might come from coaches, but hey, I have people that care about me. I have people that are interested in me. And from that little seed, like planting that seed and seriously standing in front of the mirror and saying, my story is worth sharing. My story is unique. And then having that confidence to say, you know what? I believe in my heart that my story is interesting. I believe that I want to add value to other people's lives. And just that mindset, the switch of, I'm going to take any feedback that I'm getting right now, realizing that I do have something to offer, even if it's just for a few people right now. I gotta take care of those few people, and you keep showing up day after day after day. But you guys, what happens when we think too much about what's not happening in our lives and what's not happening in our businesses is that becomes our reality, and that becomes what we expect to happen. And so what I love about Erin is that even though she has these beliefs like all of us do, she is, whether she knows it or not, already combating those. Like, she shows up every day, and every week she gains a few more followers, and every week she writes a blog post, and every week she gives value. Like, that's what it takes. But in order to be motivated to continue on, because I've been there, like, I started a blog myself from scratch, and it was like, I remember those days. Like, does anyone care? Or I would share a post like on my friend's page and be so nervous, because I was nervous that like maybe not even one of my Facebook friends would like it, let alone someone on my like page, and it gets just to be really scary. But the point is, as business owners, if we want to move our team in the right direction, we have to believe in ourselves. We have to believe in the process, and we have to be willing to go to battle with that negative energy, with those negative thoughts every single day. What I would love for you guys to do sometime this week, maybe even today while it's fresh on your mind, is to think about anything in your mind right now that is kind of a downer in your business. And I'll be honest, our team is so young that I would dare to say almost every coach, including myself, has something on our minds that is making us nervous or that's holding us back. So take some time. As a business owner, your job is to overcome the assumptions that are holding you back. And so you need to ask yourself, what am I accepting? You know, like, so if you find that excuse, what am I accepting that's holding me back from getting over it? Because a lot of times it might not even be the stuff that you're telling yourself. It might be something that someone else has placed on your mind. Like someone says, oh, network marketing is a pyramid scheme, or only a few people make it in network marketing. Well, is that actually true? Or is that something that I've just believed because it came from the mouth of so-and-so? But you guys, every single thing that someone tells us or that we tell ourselves, we have to test it. And we have to make sure that we're looking at it through this lens of, again, that abundance mindset that truly God wants to bless our lives. He wants us to be used. And the other thing I wanted to touch on before we get over to Bridget is just, I want you to, after you kind of get over some of these things that are holding you back, think about your strengths. And, you know, sometimes I think we look at our talents and we look at our strengths and we're like, oh, isn't that kind of selfish to look at what I'm so good at or what I'm awesome at? Well, the way that I have been challenged lately to look at strengths is to think about our strengths as a responsibility to serve others. So in that light, when we look at our strengths is like so I think the question we're all asking ourselves is, why am I on this earth? Why am I here? Why do I have this skill set that's kind of quirky and kind of weird? And why am I not as organized as so-and-so? And why am I not this? But why am I really good at this? Like focusing on those good things and going, it's because I want to be used and I want to serve. And so I really want to challenge you guys to switch your mindset from the negativity, from the pessimism, from anything, you know, and this goes down to, it's like, once you decide that you are going to be positive, you have to go all in. Like, for example, last night, let's just talk Beachbody Health Bet and how like crazy some people were for not getting all of their like stuff to count. You know, I had several people, and I get it. Like, I get that it's frustrating when you think you've submitted your photos and you think you've done it all and you don't get it. But at the end of the day, you know, I had people going, someone said, this is downright shady or whatever. And I just had to say, okay, first of all, have you checked? Like, these are the rules. If you met the rules, no problem. Send an email and whatever. But then I had to say, Beachbody, guys, Beachbody is not out to screw anyone over. We want the best for you. But it goes down to like standing behind and having a positive spin really on anything that you're doing. Even when it comes down to working with customer service and Beachbody, sure, you might get on a phone call that's like so frustrating and you just want to cancel and they're not letting you cancel easily or whatever. You can choose in that moment to be frustrated and to treat that person with disrespect. Or you can say, you know what, it's okay. We all have days when we're a little off our game. It's okay. Like, no company is perfect, but I still believe in our mission. But I'm telling you, when you get this mindset switched, when you're not placing the blame on other people or other circumstances. Hold on, just a second. Sorry. But when you get in this positive mindset of just, I'm in control of how my emotions, of my mindset, of how I approach situations, then there is no room when people complain, when people are negative. You're like, that's just not me. I'm not going to include myself in that. I'm going to try to spin it around to be positive, but it all comes back to mindset. And so if we're going to succeed, we have to believe in ourselves. We have to get rid of those limiting beliefs, and then we have to run with the right people. So with that said, speaking of right people, I am so thankful for Bridget. She just joined my team, 5 weeks ago. Really, it just was 5 weeks ago. I feel like I've known you for so much longer than that. It's kind of crazy to think in that way. But anyway, she came onto our team, and from day one, like, she joined right before a Coach Basics. And like, I'm telling you, I couldn't get to the training fast enough for this girl. Like, she was like, okay, what should I be doing? Okay, what should I work on now? And like, she was just ready. And that attitude has not changed since she started. It's been such a blessing to get to know her. Every conversation is full of gratitude, positivity. So Bridget, would you just take a minute and introduce yourself? And again, for anyone who missed it today, Bridget joined 5 weeks ago and she hit diamond rank today. So Bridget, I'll let you just share who you are and then whatever else you want to share with us about your journey so far.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Amber said it's Bridget. I'm a mom of 2 boys. They are 3 and 1. I'm married to my husband, Tate, and we'll be married for 5 years, coming up in a couple weeks here, actually. And my husband is a fitness professional. He runs a health club here in the Twin Cities. That's where we live, is in Oakdale, Minnesota. And then I am a CPA, certified public accountant. So I work outside the home on a regular basis. And then from middle January to April-ish, what's considered tax season, I work extra hours. So that'll be like 60 to 70 hours a week. So I'm a really, really busy person, but health and fitness has always been a big part of our life. My husband grew up playing football and was a wrestler. So he's always been that. He played football at college. And then I've always been a healthy person, except it was about 3 years ago that we really kicked it into high gear on eating super healthy. After I had my first son, I realized how much crap was put into our food, and so I learned a lot through that. And so I finally decided to become a Beachbody coach because I'd been following Amber for a while, and I wanted to get results myself and feel confident again because I was lacking that after my second pregnancy, and then also help others with the platform that Beachbody already has because I knew the products worked. So some things that I do on a regular basis to help myself grow my business is my number one priority is like changing people's lives, whether that's changing their life in my challenge group or eventually as a business and financially and other people to change their lives. But I want to change people's lives. Like my husband and I have set out to help as many people as we can. He helps a lot of people at his work every day and then on the side, but I wasn't able to do that in accounting. I mean, I get to do tax returns and all that jazz, and it's a lot different, but I wanted to be able to change people's lives on a regular basis. And now I feel like I get to do that. So that's like my number one priority. I also, no matter what, follow the 4 vital behaviors. They're out there because they work. And so I do my personal development every day. I have a longer commute now, just starting this week, but the last month when I started, I did not have that commute. And so I would listen to my personal development while sitting at my desk, or we're in the middle of a home remodel. So I would do it while I was painting. Any time that I found that I can do some personal development, I was doing it, whether it be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something to better myself. And it's really nice to have a husband that does that too. He's constantly listening to stuff in the car, and then we bounce ideas off each other. So having a partner in it definitely helps also. Inviting also, I never went a day without inviting somebody. So if 10 o'clock at night and I hadn't invited someone yet, I would definitely send a message out on Facebook, a text, something to either get the conversation going or invite them if they were a super close friend, and it didn't matter if I invited them right away. So that's something I definitely did every day, being a proof that the product works. I got all my workouts in. I drank Shakeology since day one, and I swear they made it for Beachbody coaches because it gives you energy, and I wouldn't have it without it. Like, I go on 5 to 6 hours of sleep right now, and so I need my Shakeology. And so being the proof the product works, and then also recognition. I definitely recognize my challengers right now in their groups, like if they got the workouts and the Shakeology in, if they've lost inches or pounds, like I definitely make them feel special. And because I want them to know that I'm committed to them. Like usually I want this more than they want it seems like, but I'm committed to them, to helping change their life. So recognition is huge. Another thing that I do is always have with me, okay, I'm kind of a nerd, but I have a binder. So since day one, I went out to Target and bought this, which is not normally something I would do, but because I'm like, oh, maybe I'll wait to see if the thing really works or something like that. But I was like, no, I'm going to get a binder. I'm going to be organized. And on the front of my binder, I have 3 phrases that I always see every time before I work my business. The first one is create curiosity instead of raising resistance. you got to always remember you want to create curiosity for people instead of raising the resistance for them. Always remember your why. Why did you start this journey? Why did you decide to be a coach? All that stuff. You always remember your why. And then my last one is be real, be vulnerable, be you. So in order to succeed, people need to relate to you. You need to be honest. You can't be fake. You just need to be you. There's a million people in this world, and a lot of them are like you, and you'll gravitate people like you if you are you. So that's super important to always just be you. I'm like this crazy energetic person, and so I can't have a Debbie Downer around me. Like, they think I'm crazy. So unless they're like me, you won't really get along with me. So that's definitely something I have on my binder on the front of it to always remind myself of that. And then also be responsive. So since I work a regular job, I would like to stay focused on my work when I'm here. And then on my lunch hour, I'll work my business. And when I get home, I'm with my family. And then once my boys go to bed is when I work my business again. So if someone sends me a message during the day or something, especially if they're reaching out being like, I would love to join one of your groups, do blah, 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 and they're being very vulnerable with me, I'll usually message back, be like, hey, I got your message. I'll get back to you at this time. So I'll let them know so that I'm not ignoring them, especially on Facebook, because they can see when you see the message. It tells you. And so you want to be responsive so they know you got it and be like, hey, get back to you later. One thing I do have is this little tab too. This just little notebook. I have it on my desk because my mind is always racing that I'm like, oh, I thought of that. I should do that. And I'll just write it down so that when I'm ready to work my business, I have a whole list of stuff that I need to get done or that I remembered I'm going to do. And then I'll just check it off either at home or this hour that I'm working at work when I get things done. So that's definitely something that's helped out a lot because otherwise I get distracted and then I'll go to it and then I'll forget what I was even going to do. So just writing it down quick on my notepad. And I'll sometimes forget this, that I'll actually come back to work and get it because I'll be down in the parking lot. I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot that pad. I need the pad. So I'll run up and get it quick. But those are things that I do to stay organized and to definitely make people realize that I am here to help them. No matter what, I just want to help them. So that's all I have.
Yes, I love it. I love it. No, and I think it's so good because that is the core of the business is just to go after the people that you want to help. So if I could is it okay if I ask you a few questions?
Yeah.
So you talked about inviting, and I think some people get a little bit scared or nervous about inviting friends and family. So could you share with us what has worked well in terms of wording or whatever that you have found successful?
With my really close friends. So you'll find that maybe the closest people in your circle, I guess you could say, are more resistance towards it. Like my best friend joined and my sister. And, but for instance, my other close friends, I reached out to them. They knew, they've been around me for a long time. They know I'm a health and fitness person. But I sent them a message just saying, hey, recently I joined forces with Beachbody. Like Tate and I want to help as many people as we can. They already have the platform to do it. We're having an accountability group. We're asking our closest friends if you want to join it. So that's how, and most of them are very nice. They all got back to me and were just like, no, I'm blah, blah, blah. A lot of them are breastfeeding, so they don't want to lose their supply. But any sort of workout they do, they were losing their supply and everything. They were all very gracious and everything, but they just didn't want to do it. And so I totally get that. And I just moved on. Like I put notes in my Excel sheet, but then other people, I've had people reach out to me. I was really surprised because I have been only doing this for 5 weeks and I had a total of maybe 3 strangers reach out to me, which I was like, oh my God, a stranger reached out to me. Otherwise, they're most people that I know from high school or college or just were Facebook friends and they've seen everything. But because I think if they definitely reach out to me, it's a big step for them to admit that they want help. Otherwise, just I had a wording in a note in my phone, which is on here, so I can't read it. But I just had a note of constantly reminding, like, what I'm gonna say when I invite, especially to my closest friends, who when it's not weird that I'm reaching out to them, that I talk to on a regular basis. If obviously I haven't talked to them in a long time, I'll first strike up the conversation of, hey, how's it going? I'll see something on Facebook that I'll comment about. And a lot of Amber's suggestions or assignments that she had in her different groups have caused me to get more people to join. And so it's definitely helped out by constantly being consistent. Like it's consistent. You'll get no's, 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 and eventually there'll be yeses, yeses, yeses if you're consistent.
I love that. I love that the no's don't bother you because
At all. They don't.
Right. And that sometimes takes a lot to get over. So I love that you're just like, I just move on and
Yep.
you don't take it personally. And that really is, I think, a huge part of continuing down. So then tell us, how did you structure Diamond? I mean, how did you get to Diamond so quickly? And, just tell us how you kind of did that.
Well, I got to Emerald, I don't even know what, like a few weeks in, because I had signed up about 4 people, and then I realized I haven't even signed up my husband yet, and I need to try to get to Diamond. So I signed up Tate right away, and then I realized I watched some of the videos on YouTube of strategizing to Diamond that Amber had suggested, and one of them talked about putting her brother-in-law or brother or somebody on the other side. And so Tate and I were talking, and his mom is very unhealthy. She lives about 4.5 hours away from us. And so if she lived here, I think she'd be a lot healthier, but she's very unhealthy. And we thought this would be perfect for her, Shakeology. Like, we'll pay for it and she'll drink it. And hopefully, we just think we want my kids' grandparents to be around for a long time. And so we're like, if this can help save her life, then we're going to do it. And so we signed up her as a coach on my other side to not only help her, but then help our business too. And so we did that. So I had on my right and my left, both my husband and then my mother-in-law. And then more people were joining my challenge groups. And I had always suggested to them the second option of becoming a preferred customer, because I'm like, they're like, well, what if I want to wait 10 months to decide if I like it or not? I'm like, well, either way, you're going to have to do the same thing at the end of the month. You're going to have to call and cancel. If you hate it, you're going to have to call and cancel. Whereas if you decide you like it, you don't have to jump through a ton of hoops and then have to pay a $40 fee and then get it reimbursed. And so they all were like, oh, well, that makes sense. So you sometimes have to explain it and do a little hand holding, but then it goes a long way that you don't have to do a lot of work at the end of it when they decide to continue on. And so I've had a few people that have continued on, so they had to jump through the hoops to be able to do that because they wanted to be just a customer to begin with. But they got it all taken care of because Beachbody is great and answers all the questions that they needed. But that's how I structured it. So I did a few coaches underneath my husband's, and then a few under my mother-in-law's, or preferred customers, I guess what it is, under there, so that then I was able to get to Diamond to help more people.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And I think another key piece in you getting those preferred customers is that you really are so intentional with helping them to get results. So you already told me, I think, that you have people who are excited or you think will have potential to become working coaches.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that's huge. So then it's like, whether they sign up as a customer or as a discount customer or a preferred customer, they're going to get the same experience from you as a coach. They're going to still be taken care of. So I love that. And I had never thought to break it down and say, well, it's going to be less hassle if you do it now. I think that's really true. I love that.
Yeah, it is.
That's awesome. And, I think, would you also mention what you shared on our mastermind call the other day about what Tate had suggested to hold people accountable?
Okay. With the
asking them their.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So my husband obviously is also a personal trainer, so I go to him for a lot of advice. But he had said one thing to set yourself apart from other coaches is to be able to. I have a survey I send out to my challengers at the beginning, but always ask them their goals, and then why are these their goals, and then what motivates them. So then you know what to do to keep them motivated, obviously, but then you also know their goals. So that if you have seen people that haven't logged a workout or a Shakeology or not are active on the tracker or Facebook, whichever portal you use, that you can reach out to them. I always private message them, text them if they're a personal friend, and just say, hey, how's it going? What's going on? And then they'll usually respond back and tell me, and then I'll be like, remember, this is your why. So either save it in an Excel sheet, save it in an email, screenshot your phone if it's through a text that they told you your goals or your why, but always have it available so that you can remind them why they started. This was their goal, and unless they do it, they're not going to get there. And obviously people want to have to change in order to change, but you're that person they're counting on to keep them accountable and to motivate them. So if you have the resources to be able to do that by asking it before the challenge even starts, then you can keep them motivated and accountable throughout the whole challenge. So that's something that I'm being sure to do on a regular basis.
Yeah, I love that, because oftentimes we do need that reminder, because we start strong and then we kind of forget when it becomes not very much fun to eat healthy. Like, why did I do this? And if you can have someone there reminding you, like, I love that.
And you always need to be honest. And like, that's one thing I love about Amber. You're like super honest, even in the coaches stuff. Like, it's not easy. It's going to be hard work and everything. And so I tell all the challengers, eating healthy, being healthy, it's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it. That's why America is mostly obese. So like, that's why it's hard work to be healthy, to always plan out your meals and everything. So I'm upfront with my challengers on that. Like, it's not easy. And so if you want to work hard for it, then you'll get the results that you want.
Yes, that's awesome. And then one last question I have for you. I asked you this the other day as well, but could you walk through what's working well for you in regards to using the tracker, and how you kind of started with both, but now you're going more to the tracker?
Yeah, so I started with both because I'm running my first challenge group that ends this week. But I started with both. I did all the pre-posts on Facebook, and then everybody got to the tracker. And then once it started, they were able to, actually log their Shakeology and their workouts. And then they were just posting everything to the tracker. And so I kind of ignored Facebook because no one was posting anything there. And so I have found that I have a point system with my challengers so that they can win prizes. And so if they post a sweaty selfie, they get 5 points. If they log a workout or a Shakeology, they get a point. If they share a healthy recipe or a healthy meal, like I have them share all their meals throughout the day, and then they'll get a point for that, or 3 points for that. And so at the next morning, I usually tally all the points that they have, so then the week, I don't have to do it all in one day. They'll have for the week, they get to win the prize. But it gives me everybody to get ideas of different healthy meals to have. Like, there's so many people that post stuff. I'm like, that looks amazing. Give me the recipe. And same thing for me. Like, I'm posting healthy recipes for them all, about things that I make for my kids, especially because a lot of people have kids that want healthy recipes. And so it's definitely helpful in that aspect of being able to share so many things in there and constantly see it on the feed versus just one rolling feed comment thing.
Right. Okay, cool. I love that. Awesome. Does anyone have any questions for Bridget that are coming to mind? So fun to see all of you on here, by the way. Got a great turnout today. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm recording this, so I'll be sure to post this to the group so you can share it with your coaches. But every time I talk to Bridget, or like the other day when she sent me this voice message, and she was like, she's so cute, and this is why I think she will go on to be so successful, is that she's not viewing Diamond as a destination, but it's really a stepping stone. So she was like, Amber, I just checked all of my things, and I am, in fact, going to be a Diamond coach on Thursday. I'm just so excited because it's my first stepping stone to really be able to help a lot of people. And I just loved that, because that's why we do what we do. It's not necessarily not about the rank, but it's about realizing that a rank allows us to do so much more than we could even do on our own. So that's the purpose of building a team, is to be able to reach, truly, like what starts here. And just like last night when I was like, I can't believe we have over 400 people. Well, I could have never done that on my own, but because we have a team, we're able to reach so many more people. So as you're thinking about, achieving a certain rank or moving up in the company, like my true prayer for us is that we will be motivated just to change people's lives. Like Bridget said, that it's all about helping people get real results so that they can then go on and help other people get real results. So thank you so much, Bridget, for sharing your heart and a little bit of your behind the scenes look with us. We really appreciate it, and congratulations again. There is still plenty of time, you guys, this year to hit diamond. And I know there's several of you guys who are hoping to. So remember the mindset stuff that we talked about. If you believe it, you can achieve it. That is absolutely true. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll be sure to post this to the group, and we will see you next week. Bye.